Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room, and I have a great big bright light up above my head. Oh, my goodness. This is a Monday through Friday daily stitching retreat where we hang out in here and you watch me do what I do in my sewing room, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Frito is here. Oh, I got to press a button or we're going to go dark. There we go. Oh, my goodness. All these routines. Great to see everybody here in the chat. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hi. Good morning. I see all the hands. That's great. Let's get some Frito love, shall we? Let's see. Where's she at? Where's she at? There she is. Well, nobody can see. She hides, y'all. She hides. There she is. My sweet girl. You're awful dark down there. Come here. Oh, sit. Good girl. There's your Dave biscuit. Yeah, what a good girl she is. You ready for another one? There's a good girl. Little breakfast treat there. All right, that's it. So you're getting lots of love and belly rubs. Yes, yeah. So today, well, yesterday, if you were with me, I had talked about this pattern and panel that I have from Desiree Designs called The Gilded Age. I got some very nice emails from y'all that know Desiree, went on a cruise with her, and just really enjoyed her. Somebody said she might be retiring. I don't know. But you like my shirt? This is Mary Stitchmas. This is again from Bee Inspired Tees, BEE inspiredtees.com. I've got a link to it below. And there's 15% off for my viewers. So that's kind of cool. This is great. If you guys are shop owners, get one for everybody in your shop. And I think you can put different designs on different types of shirts. So if somebody wants a jersey, something like that. So that'd be cool. And then you guys could all get a group photo for Christmas. Wouldn't that be fun? That's awesome. All right, Frito, you are on my mat, my love. And you're going to have to move. And I know, I'm sorry. Our animals. Frito, come here. Let me have this. Let me have this. This is what I'm after. You come over here and sit in front of the long arm. Over there. That girl. So I really want to replace, there's the panel there on my table. I really want to replace the panel quilt that is hanging above my ironing station with my big bright light right in your eyes right there. And so I want to make a new, it's so funny. I was thinking, well, what would I put up there? And then I was sitting at my desk the other day and I was staring at that white right there. That white is from IKEA shelving unit. And it's turned that way because this is an old garage and the floor dips. And if I put it against the wall, it'll fall forward. So it is a long ways like that. And it is just chock full of kits and fat quarter bundles and who knows what. And I'm just sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, what am I going to do with all that stuff? Because it's just a hot mess in there. And my eyes landed on this big bundle of fabric for this particular panel quilt. And I was like, oh, that would be a great replacement to change out the one I have up here from J. Wrecker Fresh. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything cool and fun going on in the chat. So let me pull you guys over here just a little bit closer so I can see everything. So the problem you always run into with panels is they're never straight. They're usually not printed straight on grain. And even if they're cut straight, they're probably not printed straight. And this one here, I can see it just, without even looking at it, it just goes way off. So I was going to show you how I cut it to get it ready to become part of the quilt. Because if you're doing these types of quilts where you're starting with a center panel and then you're adding a border and adding a border and adding a border, if you don't get that center panel straight and square, the whole quilt's going to be wonky. The whole thing. I've done it many times. So, and it may not be perfect, but it'll be pretty good, which is good enough for me. So I just wanted to tell you guys what I'm in the process of doing. So, okay. Let me get my Frito bucket out of the way from Glory. Okay. Now I bought enough of the whole group of fabrics of the line to make a ginormous quilt. This one, it has spools in it. It's 70 by 88. I do not need a 70 by 88 quilt in my sewing room. I really don't. But I do need something up there to replace that. It's been there for several years. So let's get to go in here, and I'm just going to show you what I'm doing with this. I've got to get it square, and I want to block it because it's kind of a mess. This thing, I can just, even by looking at it, I can tell it is just a hot mess. Also, when y'all sew these kinds of panels, maybe not you, this is what I do. A lot of times I don't sew the exact 1/4 inch. I try, but there will be a time when I'm sewing on an inner border that, and I'll explain it as I get closer, that I'm going to actually be sewing just inside this red because it's going to be, where's the pattern? So outside of the panel, there's that red inner border. See that? Well, in order to get that, I've got to cut this. And that black line on either side of it is the 1/4 inch. Well, you want your needle to go just inside of that black line. Otherwise, you're going to get black showing where you don't want it. So, you know, when you're making quilts like this, like I said, this is a quilt where you have center panel, border, border, border. There's not going to be any piecing in this one. And these are easy to make, but you have to pay attention to stuff like that. And then, so it's not like you've got pieces, right? Where you're making stars and that kind of thing. So, okay. What do we got going on? Hi, Dawn. How's everybody doing? Okay. You guys look good. Awesome. Awesome. Coming in from all over the place. So let me move my coffee cup here. I'm at the mercy of the cords still. I'm going to put this right here. And I have got my rulers I'm going to be working with on this. Oh my gosh, you guys. The whole top of this panel goes off this direction. It's really bad. Let me see if I can show you. I'm going to get these other parts and pieces of it out of the way and just concentrate on the center panel now. All right. So now on these, I think I do want the black. I want black around if possible. I don't know if I can do that or not, more than just the 1/4 inch. So this one doesn't have any black between the panel and the red inner border. I like the black. I think it makes a nice frame. And so I can either use the black that's in here, that's on this piece, or I can use the black that's in here, and that might be a better option because this needs straightened out badly. So let's take a look. I want to get you to where I am so you can see what this looks like. Can you see that thing? Look at this. Just curving like crazy. So if I put my ruler here, oh my goodness. It's off to the races up here on this corner, and it's way wonky over here. It's really bad. So I know that you can see that. I think I can see it in the camera, so I'm pretty sure you guys can see it too. Okay, so in order to get this straightened out, you cannot like fold it and trim both ends at the same time. That does not work because you're going to end up whacking off something that you might want. For instance, the top of the top up here has these filigrees up at the top. These are things you have to pay attention to when you're trimming up panels. So there's filigrees up here. I want those. I don't want those whacked off. Down here at the bottom, the feet of the cage, there's nothing at the bottom. So I've got some wiggle room down there underneath the feet of the cage, so that tells me I need to make sure that the top and over here on the sides have these feet right here touch this black. So I've got some room down here to maybe shift it some. This is driving me crazy, that curve. I will get to that later. So for right now, what I want to do is just go ahead and cut myself the 1/4 of an inch all the way around, hopefully. And I'm going to do that just by taking a ruler that I can slide along the edge and cut a 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to block it. So I just want to make sure though that I don't cut what I think I'm going to need. They look simple, you guys, but if you don't take into consideration what's going on with these panels, oh my gosh, you can really make a hot mess. So if I take this here, I want to show you. So I've got this ruler. Get you in here. I've got this ruler even with this edge of the black, and if I push it all the way over to the edge, there's a big corner. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get you in there. See that blue sticking off the edge there? You can't just sew that. That's going to make that all wonky. Okay, you had to block it too, Frida? Mm-hmm. Whoop, wrong way. So I can tell the straightest of the edge is really this one, like this. I can use this ruler. We got all kind of problems here. So I've got to find a straight edge to start with, okay? And if I trim this corner, I'm going to get into that filigree right there. And I don't want to do that. So I've got to move this over. Okay. And then I can move this over. So there is a basic straight edge for me. Here, the black weaves in and out. It's just a hot mess. Just a hot, big mess. So I'm going to come over a 1/4 of an inch away from the outside of the filigree out here. Okay. So I'm a 1/4 of an inch away from the outside of the filigree. This is the farthest most point of the pattern that I want to be sure to keep. Thank you, Mona. That's very sweet, darling. Thank you for your sticker. I appreciate that very much. Cheap class, right? Cheap class. Because this is something that you guys are going to come across when you're playing with panels. It's good to have lots of long rulers. I wish I could show you. I can show you. Let me swing this around. Get it where you guys can see. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Something's falling. Back you out a little bit here. Hold on. Let me back you out. Okay. I'll get you where you can see. See how the ruler, when you get to that edge, it just goes, some's a 1/4 of an inch, some's 3/8, some's almost a half, up and down on that. See that? That is just a mess. But the thing I don't want to do is whack off that little point right there. So that's going to be where I start my 1/4 inch measurement right there. Okay. This is hard. Why don't I block before cutting it? Because it's not printed straight. I have to get a straight, I got to get a straight print for it. Because you're still going to have the same problem. And then it'll be too small. That's me, Debbie. I've just block it first and then cut it. No, I don't. I cut first and then block because I'm actually blocking. I'm not blocking the panel. I'm blocking the print, if that makes sense. And then I'm not sewing an exact 1/4 inch because it's not going to work. So let me cut this. If I could cut off the print and it wouldn't make a difference on the design, then I would cut it first. But I've got pieces that I have to pay attention to. This is just me, y'all. I'm blocking the print, believe it or not. I'm not blocking the panel. Okay, now I'm going to stay on this straight here. Okay, so that side is done. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to find the piece that matters that I don't want to cut off, which is this filigree and this little foot down here. And make sure. Now this side, the top of it curves still just like the other one. So let me 1/4 inch away here and 1/4 inch away down on the bottom of the picture, 1/4 inch here. And if I go straight up here with this one, and I've got this, I'm not going to have my 1/4 inch away up at the top. So okay, so there's, let me go up here and do this. Kind of do a 1/4 inch there, 1/4 inch there. All right. So I know that that one, because of the way it curves, is just, and I've got 3/4 inch down here. And a 1/4 inch up here. We're going to have to convince this thing that it doesn't want to be all wonky like that. So now I'm just going to keep that as straight as possible. Okay. This across the top is fairly straight. So I'm going to 1/4 inch away on this. You've got to start with something to work with. Otherwise, it just, you don't have a good starting point. Okay. That's just mean the way they do that, isn't it? The way they print them wonky. That's not nice at all. And down here, my 1/4 inch away. That's pretty straight. All right. So now I've got something I can work with that will get me started. And I'm going to take a big beach towel and lay it out on my mat, my Bucky's beach towel. Gotta have a Bucky's beach towel, right? And then I'm going to take my panel and put it on there. All right. I got some pattern weights. These are forever old, you guys. They're dice and they're marble. I bought them in the market in New Orleans. Went there many years ago. Okay, and I need some pins. So now is when I want my square, and I'm squaring up the picture. Okay, put this, get that just right. I'm looking at this 1/4 inch seam, and I'm getting this level right in here so that it is square on this. This is why these big rulers are great. Okay, and I'm gonna pin on the towel. Okay. That curve is something else, boy. Okay, pin this. I can't see what y'all are saying. It's too far away and my eyes are bad. My neighbor across the street backed into my neighbor next door's mailbox. They've got a big stone surround around their mailbox and broke it off at the base with this big old trailer. So there were some masons out there yesterday fixing that, and they were doing such a good job. So Keith went over there and worked his magic, and we're going to build a barbecue patio underneath an overhang that was put up a couple years ago by Betty Boop. I don't know if she's here this morning. And her husband, her husband Mike, they came in 2023, was it? 22, 23? And let's see. And Mike helped Keith put that patio up, the cover. All right. So this is straight. Nice and straight. And what I do with my little, oh, these are heavy. I'll let this dry. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm just doing what works for me, you guys. Okay. Okay. Square up the picture. Oh, okay. It's nice and straight over here now. Let me pull this a little bit. Pin it. This looks good. So I'm just using water in my spray bottle right now. When I get done, I'll douse it down with some Mary Ellen's Best Press and water. Look at that. Look at all that blue right there. What a mess. I might not be able to do this. I might have to trim off the outside edges of that cage. There we go. I've got a lot of fullness in here. That's okay. That's not a problem. So any kind of ironing assist that you can do on these is good to help give it some shape. Those of you that are long armors, when you have fullness in the bottom borders of your quilts, this is what we've got. and you handle it the exact same way. Just get it wet, pat it around, encourage it to stay where you want it to, let it dry. Exact same thing. This is going to take a little bit. So I'm not going to do this bottom edge just yet. I'm just going to let this dry for a couple hours and see. This is nice and straight. We're going to like saturated wet. There. I'm liking it. Looking pretty good now. It's looking good. Okay. So I'm going to let the water dry on it right now. And then I'm going to come back and mess with it a little bit more. Remember, I've got some play down here in the bottom that I can do some trimming if I want. But at least now the top, let me see if I can get it where you can see it straight on. You love it, hot mess and all. So do I. But look how straight it is now. Okay. It just looks so much better. I think I need more water. Yeah, this is awesome. This is going to work really well. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that like that and let it dry. Okay. We're thinking, well, I just, as far, block and then cut, you can. I don't know. To me, my brain, it works better to get my 1/4 inch, figure out where that is going to be first and get that all straight. Only because I've got stuff up at the top that I didn't want to cut off. Anyway, either way, 6 one, half dozen of the other, right? Okay. So let's go back over to the, let's go back over here to where I'm sewing. Back in my corner. All right. Turn my light around. There we go. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful day here again in South Texas. We just had wonderful weather. Had a little bit of rain yesterday, but beautiful, beautiful rain. Weather that we've been having. Oh, let me pull you over here. Okay. I'm liking that now. That was bothering me because that panel was really, really out of whack. Crazy out of whack. Oh my goodness. All right. When you see the right side, won't I see the black border? The border isn't going to matter. I'm going to cut it off probably. Now, so like I was saying, what I was doing, I'm real small to you guys. Hold on a second. What I was doing was squaring the picture on the fabric, not squaring the fabric. That's different. Okay. You had no idea how to do that. Yeah. Oh, you were afraid of panel. Now, this is how you do this. Yeah. So I was squaring the picture, not squaring the fabric, because the fabric isn't square. There's no way. The fabric, because it's printed wonky, okay, I've got to encourage those fibers to shift and then stay put in another way than their natural state, which is a natural weave. Okay. I've got to force the weave different. So know your textiles. Yeah. So this works for me that way. That's just it. So you like my shirt, late to the party, Diane. This is from Bee Inspired Tees. It's Mary Stitchmas. So cute stuff. It's a good gift for your stitchy friends. You guys are way high. Let me get this. I'm having to look up and hurt my neck. Hold on a second. Loosen this and let that come down. There we go. Whee! Okay. All right. Bonnie. Bonnie switched her cruise from the first one to the second one in May. So that's good. Okay. Awesome. Well, good, Marie. You got your book? Awesome. Yeah, that Table-tastic 3. She got that. That's great. She was Friday's winner. Good for you. So, do I send the feedback to the manufacturer? Do they know and don't care? Yeah, I'm sure they know and don't care. I'm sure of it. And y'all, it's not any one manufacturer. I'm sure they try to get it straight, but what are you going to do? You know, there's nothing for it. So, may the force of the weave be with you, Elizabeth. So once that dries and that fabric kind of settles down, I'll hit it just like it is right now. I'm not going to mess with the pins or anything and the weights. And I'm going to hit it with some Mary Ellen's Best Press and get it real soaked again and let it dry like that. So I am trying. So if I had extra space around the top where there was nothing, no print there that I wanted to keep, excuse me, I could just block it and block the fabric like you're saying. Okay. But because there's print I want to keep, I've got to block the print. And blocking the print means I've got to get that weave to reshape. And I want them to go like this. So in garment sewing, the weave really matters. If you are working with woven textiles, or you're doing any kind of draping at all, when you're doing garment sewing, because we are not straight like quilts, the fabric has to drape over the body, or it'll hang funny, or it'll pull funny, or something like that. So that's why grain line is so crazy important in garment sewing. In quilting, it's really not. It's not that big of a deal, okay? So in quilting, if you have a panel that is printed wonky, off grain, okay, in any fabric, it's a flat woven fabric and it's printed off grain. If you don't have to capture something in it to make it look straight, then you can just cut it and make it straight by trimming it straight. And the print will still be off grain, but nobody's going to see it. It's not going to look off grain. I hope that makes sense. But because this panel had something coming right out to the edge that I wanted to keep, I can't just cut it off grain and have it look straight. I have to change the grain and get it to go somewhere else. So that's why I did it the way that I did it. So anyway, if you're new to panels and you find one you really like, you either have to be prepared to, I would look for something that doesn't have anything on the sides of it, that it's got plenty of room for you to straighten it out. So for instance, these little pieces here, if you wanted to add these in, look how much extra black fabric is around the little border. See the little red border? You want to keep the border, the little red inner border on this, but you have enough black fabric out here that if this is off grain, you can just cut it, and you can make it so that one side might have a 1/4 inch and the other side might have 3/8, and you just sew to make that look straight because you've got plenty of wiggle room around the outside. Okay. Patty, I'm not talented. I have learned my lesson, my friend. So that, so Anne has a good question. Doesn't have any space to straighten a panel. Any suggestions on what else you can do? You can use your dining room table. So like, this eventually needs to be pressed. Okay. And it's too big for my ironing station. So once it's nice and stiff, then I'm going to take it over to the ironing station and I'm going to convince it to stay where it is. I can't iron it now because there's a mat underneath it, but you can put a towel, a beach towel or a big bath sheet on your dining room table and do that. You can do it on the floor. Okay. Get out your Swiffer first or vacuum. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Your Smoky Bear panel was wonky as Willie. Oh, yeah. Sully's mom. I know. I'm sorry about the code for Yazzie bags still not working. I'm sorry, Marianne. Let me text her and see what's going on, because they did some changes on their website. It's the middle of the night right now in Australia. So I will text her. Okay. Do I need to measure the top of the panel and make sure it's the same as the bottom? Well, you want it as close as possible, because you sure don't want it too wide or too narrow in this. So you've got a bell shape, right? That shouldn't happen because I used that large 15-inch ruler. That's the ruler I used to make Keith's t-shirt quilt, because he's got ginormous shirts. And is this the same process for quilt blocks? No, Vicki, it is not. No. Quilt blocks, you got to make sure that 1/4-inch seam is correct wherever there's a point. So this as where, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You can fold out cardboard with the plastic under. That's a good idea. Yep. Whoops, sorry. There you go. Fold out cardboard with plastic under it. Barbara, remember there used to be, and there still may be, there was a, it was a fold up cutting, not cutting mat, but it was for sewing, right? It was for sewing. So, let's see. So when you think about it, that panel, let's see, could you wash it first? Debbie, I do not recommend that. I don't. You want to be able to work with the sizing that's in it from the manufacturer. If you wash it, it's going to go even wonkier, I think. So, yep. Marge uses her spare bedroom. Okay. Yep. So hopefully that gives you some good tips there to do that. What do we got here? Did I get Frito's door made? No, Tina, I did not. No, that we started talking to the Masons. I had to go grocery shopping. Life, right? Life got in the way. Oh, I got my birthday cards from my family up in Colorado Springs. So those of you that know Callie, she's my 10-year-old granddaughter. She comes on here and she's so cute. She likes to machine embroider. So here's the card she made me. It has an embroidered bee on it. It's not embroidered. It's just, she drew it. See that? Isn't that cute? Down at the bottom, it says power tools with thread and a sewing machine. Happy birthday. How nice. These are things you keep forever, right? And then she has a super nice note in here. And she says, and she's writing in cursive, y'all, which I love. In her note, and then she says, with lots of love, Callie and Sophie. Now, Sophie is the doodle dog. And she said, Sophie licked here to sign this card. So it's got some dog spit on it. Isn't that nice? Joanne still sells the cardboard cutting mats. Okay. So they're not, you can cut, but you would use scissors. They're not for rotary cutters, but yeah. So, isn't she a wonderful young lady? I know, Wendy. I just love it. But this design in here she drew is a design that is inside of the Brother. She has the NQ3550W, and this is the B monogram that is inside there. So she kind of copied it, and I just love it. I just love that. And then the boys sent me a little flower garden. And you open it up and the glue kind of fell apart in the mail, but you open it up. And when you open the card, it had a little glue handle here that says pull this way. And when you pull it, you get a pop-up, and this is so cute. This little pop-up flower, and it says happy birthday, stand-up card. Isn't that cute? Love it. Love it. This is how you know, they get the house when I die, right? You love that. And then just a nice little card from my son and his wife. And it doesn't take much, you guys. You know what I mean? So it's a little bitty happy birthday card and a note from each one of them on each side, my son and daughter-in-law. So very nice. Very, very nice. Made my day. Sit around smiling, you know. Again, smile until my face cracked. So they're sweet, sweet kids, sweet kids. Blessed, very blessed. Thumbs up, you guys. Helps the channel a whole lot, and subscribe. You know, there's like 20% of you that are on here all the time and are not subscribed. I don't know why. And you need to subscribe because when I hit 80,000, I'm giving away from Lady M. I'm going to show you what I'm going to give away. Oh, we had a little outage there. Just a second. I moved things around. She gave to me to give to you a So Tight rotary cutting mat and 6.5-inch ruler. You can't start your day without me, Ann. I can't start my day without you either. I miss you guys on the weekends. Well, Saturday I don't. Sunday I'm like, I want to go back on. So this is, telling you what, y'all, this is the best rotary mat in the industry. Can you hear the bearings? Nice. Love it. Lady M, what is her shop name? She doesn't have a shop. Nope. And then this has magnets. See the magnets in there? And I think there's boosters to go with it, those little boosters. So there is a piece of metal inside of here. So look at that. How about that? Love it. Very nice. So she sent me one to give to y'all. All right. So Bonnie wants a rotary mat. I know. Well, if you don't have a rotary mat, you can use a mat on a mat. So I have a smaller, like a 12-inch, 14-inch mat, and I can use that on my regular mat. And, you know, you can cut and then just turn the mat. That's a little workaround there. So could you cut straight with that? I don't know. It'll spin. I use that to square up blocks. So yeah, it is. That thing retails. I saw it at the show. $179. It's almost a $200 set. Yeah. So YouTube can cancel subscriptions. You keep checking that it's still subscribed. Okay, good. So I did that. Oh, look at that. Look what Becky did, or Wendy. In your estate paperwork, you have a list of all the machines with purchase price so the kids don't sell the 15 needle for $100. Sometimes people don't know what they have, right? I think the best thing to do is to tell them to check the price of the machine on eBay. And that way, yeah, subscribe. Yay, Karen. That way, you know, they're going to get their money's worth out of it for sure. So you're welcome for the lesson on square in the fabric, Barbara. We'll play with that thing all week. Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to, after it, because I got to let it dry. I can't do any cutting today. So tomorrow we'll cut this. This is straight. This is not a problem. I think it's straight. I don't know. We'll see. This might also need to be straightened because you can cut these and hold them up and watch them curve. You sure can. Okay. So I got 2 blocks finished yesterday. Okay. Didn't those come out pretty? Nice and pretty. I got 1 more to go. All right. Yeah, that's a great little workaround too. You can make your own. Oh, Nancy. Oh, hold on. Where'd you go? Let's see. Let me undo that. You guys, the comments are coming in so fast. Okay. Wouldn't the line have that fabric in it so you don't have to cut it out? It doesn't, Wendy. I don't think. Well, I didn't get it. So I got the line, what I got in the line
are just pieces that were to make. So it's like a quarter of a yard is what they gave, what is in here. It was a kit. I don't know. I was in there in the store. I'm walking around and Betty was in there and she says to me, you got to see this. This is so cute. It's right up your alley. You'll love it. I was in Fiberworks Fabric Studio. Okay. There you go. Becky says my machines don't add up to my husband's drag racing cars and tools. Okay. So I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way here. And then I'm going to do this last block with you guys. And then we can be moving on. Okay. I'm glad this sew along actually starts with the Fat Quarter Shop in January, the Quilted Snowman sew along. So that's going to be, I'm just getting ahead of the game. Just trying to get ahead of the game. I'm not marking these anymore. You had trouble with the star blocks. You had to recut some of your background fabric, Lindy. I wonder why. Now, these, so the other day, yesterday, I had trouble with some of these points were sewn backwards. And I had to undo them. And the reason is because the fabric is directional. If the fabric's not directional, you can just go to town marking all your pieces and sewing and cutting off the short side. So like this fabric is not directional. So I can just mark all these up just like I want. Get my iron going. And this is really handy to do this here. So, all right. I put a video out yesterday too on how to download and unzip design files for the Pro Stitcher on my King Quilter 2 Elite. But if you want to know, you may not have that setup, but you get zip files from companies that have designs and you're like, well, now what do I do with that? So if you have a Windows machine, take a look at that video and I go baby steps and show you how to do that. That is such a showstopper for some people. It's real hard. I still struggle sometimes with the MacBook, but it does it for you automatically if you do it right. So you saw that video, Jean? Jean, is your name Jean or Jeannie? It looks like Jeannie. I had a friend in school who spelled it like that. Do you say the end on the E on the end of that? Let me know in the comments. So this one's going to go super quick since everything is non-directional. That makes life a lot easier. Y'all are just talking away. I love it. You switched to the second cruise too, Betsy. Good. Yeah, the first one is like a quilt show type of extravaganza, they're calling it. This is the sewandsailecruise.com. There's two of them in end of May, first week of June out of Galveston. So I'll be doing a lecture demo of the Snapplique in my class. I believe Designs by Juju will be on both of them. I'm pretty sure she is. So it'll be a lecture demo in the first one. And then the second one is going to be more of a hands-on, step-by-step. We're going to do a project, all of us. And you need to have the software, okay, and already installed. You need to be familiar with Canvas. You got to have the downloaded version of Canvas installed on your computer because you won't have internet out there. Even if you have the internet package, it doesn't like to work. Okay. Let's get some sewing going. Let's see here. There we go. Did I miss the super sticker from Mona? No, I saw it, Vicky. I sure did. Yeah. Fat Quarter Shop has an ironing cutting station on sale. Cheapest you've seen it. Okay. Eli, I might need to go look at that because of course, I mean, I don't need another one. You never know. I saw one at Sewing Parts Online. Got that big wooden one. What? What? Oh. You know what? My iron is beeping at me. It's not happy. I don't know if it overheated. So I have a problem here in this sewing room. The plugs on the wall behind me are not grounded. Jana, thank you for your sticker. You're very thoughtful. Thank you. I appreciate that, sweetheart. So these are not grounded. I think I have another plug back here that'll work. Yeah. We'll see if this one works over here. Oh, goodness. I wonder what that means. Does anybody know what that means? I'm getting the beep and the red. Not happy. Unplug it. I've never seen that before. A lot of you were on the second cruise. Have Keith get me grounded? Yeah, I know. Well, the person who remodeled this room, I don't know why there's no ground on these plugs. No idea why. What are you guys doing? Your internet has gremlins. I'm sorry, Vicky. A lot of you are on the second cruise. Yeah, you should retire if it bothers your crafting time. Wendy, that's absolutely right. There's no reason to keep working if it's going to get in the way of what makes you happy. Life is too short. In passing, I have thought, I wonder if I should go back to work and get a job. Like, I would probably really enjoy being a cashier at HEB, the grocery store. I'd really enjoy that. That wouldn't bother me a bit. But I'd have to be on somebody else's schedule. And the idea of that just doesn't set with me. I was on somebody's schedule for 37 years. I mean, if push come to shove, that's probably what I'd do. Uh-oh. Oh, here. I was like, I don't see which one is short. No. I'm doing this wrong. This way. Yeah, this way. Okay. I got to finger crease these since I can't iron them. Man, that's frustrating. Okay. You're having sewing withdrawal, Deborah? What are you doing? Oh, you can sew and care for puppies. You can do two things at once, my friend. Ugh. The internet says that it's warning you that it's shutting down due to inactivity. Oh, I don't know what that means. You talking to somebody else? Okay. Or work in a quilt store. I could work in a quilt store, but I don't know. That would be fun. There's not a quilt store though that's near me. So I would want to work somewhere that it takes me 5 minutes to get to work. You know what I mean? 10 max. I don't want to spend my day driving anymore at all. Okay. I need to press these. So I'm going to turn you around. Oh, goodness. Pick you up and turn you around so you can come over to the ironing station with me. There we go. See that? I love to multi-iron iron multiple pieces at one time. That is just so efficient. This kind of stuff just makes me so happy. Do you guys have certain checkers that you go to in the grocery store? I have certain ones that I do because some of them are really efficient. Some of them are really slow and I avoid them. I'll stand in a line longer. And I always go to my favorite checker if I can. Use a clapper on that. There, they're nice and flat. Now I can cut. That was quick. Okay. All righty. Ooh. Now I'm going to cut these approximately 1/4 inch away from the seam. Open a quilt store? Oh, Margie. You know, that actually crossed my mind probably 10 years ago or so. Oh gosh, our hour is up. And the only way I would do that would be that if I owned the land and the building, so that if the store failed, I could lease it out to another business. That'd be the only way I would do that. Okay. All right. That's a good idea. I could call, it's a Cricut. I could call Cricut customer service. That's a good idea. All right. I mean, everything else is working off that plug, so I don't know what the deal is. So, all right, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe so I can give away the rotary mat from Sew Tights along with the ruler. But this has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. And I'm going to change the title on blocking, and so we can you can find that again if you're looking for it. Okay, so I will talk to you soon. I have got so much going on here. I want to finish this. I've got to spray that down. Just lots to do. So you guys have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Y'all go sew something.